So the breaking news now is that the US Embassy in Abuja suspends all visa appointments as State Department expands do not travel advisory to 23 Nigerian states over escalating insecurity in the country. April 10 today, the news that broke in Nigeria is that the United States in Abuja has suspended all scheduled visa appointments, directing applicants to monitor their emails for rescheduling information. Visa operations will continue uninterrupted at the U.S. Consulate General in Lagos, while American citizen services remain available for emergencies and by appointment only. This move comes just one day after the U.S. Department of State updated its travel advisory for Nigeria, designating 23 out of 36 states in Nigeria as their level 4, which means do not travel. Level 3 is that you will reconsider to travel, but level 4 is do not travel due to heightened risk of terrorism, kidnapping, crime, and civil unrest. The overall advisory for Nigeria remains at level 3, reconsider travel. But the expansion of restricted areas prompted the authorization of voluntary departure of non-essential U.S. government personnel and eligible family members from the embassy in Abuja. So this is the full list of the 23 states under US or in the US level 4, that's do not travel advisory. The United States Department has explicitly warned American citizens against traveling to the following 23 states for any reason, citing the unstable and uncertain security situation. The states are grouped by the primary threats identified in their advisory. 1. The first category is do not travel due to terrorism, crime, and kidnapping. Number 1 in the list is Borno, Jigawa, Kogi, Kwara, Niger, Plateau, Taraba, Yobe, Northern Adamawa Pass of Adamawa State. Then another category, the one due to unrest, crime, and kidnapping. The first in the list is Bauchi, Gombe, Kaduna, Kano, Katsina, Sokoto, and Zamfara. In fact, all the states in the north, they are all swept in the list. They are all in the list. Then due to crime, kidnapping, and unrest, Abia, Anambra, Bayelsa, Delta, Enugu, Imo, Rivers, with explicit exception of Port Harcourt. So these designations bring nearly 2/3 of Nigeria's 36 states under the highest risk category. The advisory notes that security operations against these threats may occur without warning, and the U.S. government's ability to provide assistance in these areas is extremely limited. This is just maybe a broader explanation of the categorization of insecurities across the affected states. So the northeast and north central is known for terrorism, crime, and kidnapping. States like Borno, Yobe, they remain the epicenters of Boko Haram and ISWAP insurgencies, with ongoing attacks on civilians and security forces. The inclusion of Plateau, Taraba, Kwara, Niger, Jigawa, Kogi, and Northern Adamawa highlights a surge in farmer-herder clashes, communal violence, and sophisticated kidnapping syndicates that have spread into previously less affected central states. Then we talk about the northwest. We've seen in recent time unrest, crime, and kidnapping. Bauchi is in the northwest, Gombe, Kaduna, Kano, Katsina, Sokoto, and Zamfara. They are plagued by armed banditry, cattle, rustling, and mass abduction for ransom. These areas have seen repeated attacks on villages, highways, and schools, with bandits often operating across porous borders. Then we come to southeast and south-south. What has bedeviled the area is crime, kidnapping, and unrest. Abia, Anambra, Enugu, Imo, and parts of Rivers faces threats from separatist agitation, including IPOB sit-at-home orders, unknown government attacks, court clashes, and armed robbery. In the oil-rich south-south states of Bayelsa, Delta, militancy, pipeline vandalization, sea piracy, and intercommunal disputes exacerbate the risk. The advisory explicitly states that the security situation in these states is unstable and uncertain, with no changes to the core risk indicators: crime, terrorism, unrest, kidnapping, and health concern, but an update to reflect evolving embassy operations. So these are the things that prompted them to now go further to shut down the embassy in Abuja. Visa operations have been shut down. They announced on their S account on Thursday, directing that every other applicant, if you have an appointment, you should be checking your emails for an update. Maybe people could even, reschedule the appointment to Lagos, those that need one thing or the other. So the US officials have emphasized that the measures are precautionary, amid what they describe as deteriorating security environment across large parts of Nigeria. So we have been seeing, just a few days ago, we lost another Major General or Colonel in Borno. So day after day, we still have a good number of women, innocent women, young girls, young boys, Nigerians that are still in the den of these kidnappers and bandits, and the government is not doing enough to get them rescued. So we have a country that is America that love their citizens. They are giving you information ahead of time. American citizens currently in Nigeria are urged to enroll in the Smart Travel Environment Program, STEP, review their personal security plans, and avoid designated states. The Department of State reiterated that U.S. government personnel are prohibited rather from traveling to these level 4 areas. You see how a country works? They are giving security update to their citizens. So all these 23 states now, you won't see any US citizen there, except a US citizen who is a Nigerian, who understand Nigeria and understand the environment, and know that, okay, this is my state, this is my country, I could still move around. But if you are a US citizen who is not even an African or Nigerian American, you are just a white man or white woman, they dare not go to these states. That's how they operate. Their country loves them, and their country provides information ahead of time to them. Look at what is happening. A military general will be executed, will be killed, by Boko Haram or ISWAP. They go with a lot of names these days, but we just categorize them in one as Boko Haram. Then the Nigerian military will go to their either Twitter page, formal X or formerly Twitter. They will go to their social media handle and say, we have repel the attack. Why do you have to wait till you repel? Why don't you attack them first? Why don't you do like US? They see ahead of time, they foresee the danger, and they will be prepared to contain it, or to even to prevent it. So it's unfortunate. From placing Nigeria on travel ban list, student visa is now banned. You can't be issued student visa currently, and then Nigerians are hoping that after 6 months, the US embassy, the US review their partial ban list, or partial ban rather, every 6 months. So many Nigerians, majorly students, those in visa category F1, F2, J1, J2, and HB1 and HB2. So most of them are just hoping that by June, which will make it 6 months, that the travel ban was placed on Nigeria, that there will be a review, hoping that the ban will be lifted. But with what we are seeing now, is nearly impossible for the ban to be lifted. It's not going to be lifted. If US Embassy in Abuja, the capital city of Nigeria, has to be shut down because of threat because of insecurity and insecurity concerns, tell me how they will now come back to lift the partial ban, a partial visa ban or travel ban that's placed on Nigeria in January this year. This government has failed. Tinubu government has failed. APC government has failed. So Nigerians, no matter what they do to destabilize the opposition and all of that, there is no way, no reason why this government should come back. And that's why a lot of insecurity is looming. Why can't they allow the opposition to thrive? I was discussing with someone yesterday. I was like, one of the reasons why insecurity is even thriving is because of what this government is doing. How can you turn a political party to your personal property? How do you want to hold Nigeria to ransom? You have all the governors in your party. Why are you still threatened? Why are you still mobilizing people to destabilize the opposition? We read what the alleged, or the factional big head of ADC, Nafi Bala, he was reading a prepared speech. He could not even read it. So why is he so in a hurry to become the chairman? Even his family chairman, I doubt if he will win. They said he was the chairman of Northeastern, maybe because in that zone where he's the chairman, he's the only person who could read from a book there. I mean, I don't just understand it. A lot is happening. So what is, if APC should know what is good, Tinubu and his people. They should let these ADC people go, even though maybe they might not win. We saw it happen last election. Why are you trying to make these people to be stranded? These are the things that are heightening this insecurity. And to even make it worse, that the international community, and when US gives such travel advice, do not travel, being the strongest country in the world, other countries will follow suit. And many Nigerians who would want to travel for studies, for all that, they are stranded. They are hell bound in this country. It's so bad.